Hey ladies and gentlemen, Paul Chamberlain, the Air Force guy, coming from Beckley's Camping Center today to talk to you about how to properly operate your Suburban water heater. Just going to go through some basic information for you to hopefully help you through those maybe awkward moments. This is the Suburban water heater, and the way to know that you have a Suburban water heater is if you're looking at this door, this is what your door will look like. The Atwood water heater is going to have a little sight glass. This screen area won't be as big, but it'll have a little sight glass down below. So a little bit different. But we're going to show you how this Suburban water heater, how you should properly operate it. For more information on this or any other campers or systems, if there are questions, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information will be down below. So let's get on to how to operate this water heater. Now back behind the door, this is what you're going to see for your, this is your Suburban water heater. Suburban water heater, typically going to come in 6, 10, or 12 gallon water heaters. They could be automatic. You could find them where you have to manually light them. Typically the smaller ones are that. Then you're going to find some that are only electric. You can find some that are both electric and propane, or you might just find some that are propane only. Just depends on the unit. Now, with all of these, doesn't matter whether you have a 6, 10, or 12 gallon water heater, all of them will reheat the same amount of hot water per hour if you're using, and in this particular case we have a LP and an electric system. All the ones that have the electric and propane are going to give you, so roughly about 16 gallons of hot water an hour. Now that breaks down, when you have both the propane and electric, to roughly 6 gallons of hot water an hour with electric and 10 gallons with just the propane. So again, the two put together are going to give you roughly 16 gallons of hot water per hour, regardless of whether you have the 6, the 10, or the 12 gallon water heater. Now, for those of you that have a water heater like this one, and you have an electric switch right here, you also may have an electric switch on the inside. Some do, some don't. It is imperative that you make sure that if your switch is out here, make sure that you leave this switch. If this is all you have is this electric switch, make sure you leave that particular one in the off position. So that way there, you make sure that you do not turn it on prior to having water in the water heater. Now, contrary to what some people might tell you, never fill your water heater by pulling this valve. This is a pressure relief valve. Yes, it's great when you want to empty your water heater, you can open this, but to fill it, do not do that. What this will tell you, if you're filling your water heater with this, meaning that you go ahead and hook up a hose to your system and then open this until it has water steadily streaming out, what you're doing is you're overfilling your water heater and you're going to run into problems in the long term. So do not do that. You're going to notice also on the Suburban that you're going to have 2 reset buttons here. That is, so in the event that you find that your water heater is not working, this is one of the first places you check. The other place you would check would be your breaker box. Now, something else to consider with your water heater is the fact that in the event that bugs and so forth, whether they're spiders, stink bugs, whatever, bees, they get in behind here, that could create some issues for you with it operating. Sometimes you might have to get yourself an air hose and blow out some of this, especially your LP side. Blow out this tube to get any spiders or nests and things that are in there. Now, in order to deter that, there are ways around that. And what you could do if you have something like this is you could put a screen over top of this part here, okay? And that would keep smaller bugs from going in there. However, some people fail to realize is you have this section here that could also have bugs get in. So you could take and put a piece of screening in around there, seal it there, and keep it from the bugs from coming in through this section here. Now, something else to consider, when you go put this thing back on, you're going to notice that this is sitting on the inside of this, and some might be sitting on the outside. But you might want to consider also, I had a customer point this out to me, is that bugs can get in through the edges here, whether it be at the bottom or the sides. So you may want to consider taking some of that foam insulation you put like around your home, around the doors and windows and so forth, and just take and put it on the inside of here. So as you set this back up here, now there's no area around the water heater where the bugs can get in. So hopefully that's a little bit of help, a tidbit of information, because I know I run into it a lot, or I hear a lot about people not being able to turn on, especially the propane side of the water heater. And that is because of critters getting in there and creating a problem. So now with the Suburban water heater, you have what we call an anode rod. And what this is doing, this is something you're going to be actually, this is your plug that puts it here. This is what keeps the water held into your water tank. But what this does is this is going to corrode instead of having your steel tank corroding. This one, as you can see, is a very good one. When they get down to look like more like an ice pick, that's the time that you're going to need to change this. So now let me take you on the inside and explain to you how or when you should be turning on your water heater. Okay, so now you're hooked up to water at your campsite. Prior to turning your water heater on, what you want to do is open a hot water spigot. Maybe you already did that on your outside shower, but if you didn't, come inside, open a hot water spigot. Make sure that it'll spit and sputter until it runs straight. So when you're getting continuous water through your spigot, then you know the water heater is full of water. Next, my recommendation would be to get to your cooktop and light the three burners. Make sure your LP bottles are open. They probably should have been, but light those to make sure that the LP lines are full of LP and free of air. At this point, now you're going to locate where you have your switches for your water heater. Now, for those of you who just have electric, you're only going to be having electric to deal with, or propane, vice versa. But always, prior to turning on any propane appliance, light the stovetop. That will help you not have a misfire with your appliance. But turn on the electric at this point is what I would tell you, because you've already paid for your site. Only use, when you have both gas and electric, use the propane when you want to take multiple showers, and that'll allow you to have more hot water per hour. Now, something else I highly recommend you do is when you're done camping is to empty the water out of your water heater. So you're going to want to make sure that you get the proper tool so that you can pull out your the inner rod. And then you can just lay it in here. Now, prior to you opening that, make sure you do a couple things. Make sure, of course, you're pretty much done camping. Turn on your faucet on the inside of your outside shower on the hot water side to make sure you shut your water heater off first of all. But you want to run out all the hot water that's in your water heater, because when you go remove this, you don't want to have to be splashed with hot water and so forth. So the first thing you do is shut off the water heater. Next, you're going to go ahead and run a faucet till it cools down. Next, you're going to disconnect your hose. So that's your third thing. When you're done disconnecting your hose, now you want to make sure that you get the pressure off the system, so you open a spigot as well. That'll go ahead and get the pressure off the system. Then you remove the drain plug. And then just lay it in here. And that way there, as you drive home, the rest of the water can rinse out. Now, if you want to make sure that the water evacuates a little faster, you can go ahead and lift up this valve, and that will push because it's kind of like putting, if any of you all have ever shotgunned a soda or a beer maybe, where you go ahead and poke a hole in the bottom, then you open the tab on the top, that comes out pretty quick. Same concept here. So hopefully that helped you a little bit. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is how you operate a Suburban water heater. Hopefully you found that informational, helpful for you. Any questions on this or anything else, by all means, just shoot me a message. You can comment below. My contact information will be down below as well. But I do appreciate you watching. And if you call, if you email, if you stop by Beckley's Camping Center, be sure that you reach out and ask for Paul, the Air Force guy. Thanks again, and we'll be back in soon. Take care.